Hello, this video is First Bot, building your first bot for Teams in JavaScript or C#. My name is Bob German, and I'm a technical architect in the One Commercial Partner technical team. In this episode, you'll learn how to generate a bot in JavaScript or C#, how to access your bot using the Bot Framework Emulator, how to use ngrok to expose your bot on the internet even as you debug it locally, how to register your bot and add security, and how to create an app in Teams for the bot. So let's dive in. So I want to start by talking about the Azure Bot Channel Service. The Bot Channel Service allows you to create different channels that talk to different applications. So you can believe that Facebook Messenger, Slack, Twilio, all the different applications have different ways of talking to a bot. The Bot Channel Service takes care of all those details for you and allows your bot to talk to one RESTful interface and work with all the different applications. Microsoft Teams requires use of the Azure Bot Channel Service, and it's really just a checkbox, as I'll show you in a minute. What are those REST calls going between the bots and the Bot Channel Service? Well, those are activities, and the most common one is a message. Obviously, could be a chat message, or we could be sending an adaptive card, or perhaps an image or some other rich media. Another type of activity is an invoke. Invokes are used a lot in Teams. They're used for messaging extensions and also for push buttons on adaptive cards, things like that. Conversation update tells your bot that someone has entered or left the conversation. Typing tells you that someone's typing, etc. So these are the messages that are going to be coming to your bot and going also from your bot back to the channel service. So your bot is just a web service, and really all you need is the green box and the channel service to make it work. If you were programming in some language that doesn't have SDK support, you're still totally good using the RESTful calls. In this workshop, I'm going to focus on using the Bot Builder SDK, which makes life a lot easier. And I'm going to sort of switch back and forth between C# and Node.js. The Bot Builder SDK helps you to organize dialogues with your bot, manage bot state, and a bunch of other services that would be a lot of work to write from scratch. Now, Lewis is the Language Understanding Intelligence Service, part of Azure Cognitive Services, and the Bot Builder SDK will help you call that as well. And then finally, your bot is likely to want to call some external apps or web services to actually do something for users. So these are the basic building blocks. If you want to get started in JavaScript, you need to install Node from nodejs.org, and that runs on all platforms. And then you want to run a couple of commands, which are here. And what that's going to do is install the Yeoman generator, which will build out the scaffolding for your project, and then the generator itself for the bot builder. Now there are three templates that you can use. There's the empty bot, which is just a completely minimal template. There's the echo bot, which I'm going to show now. It just echoes back anything you type. And then there's the core bot, which is a full conversational sample with Lewis and dialogues. I'll get into the dialogues and stuff in later videos, but not particularly with the core bot. The other thing you want to install before you start is the Bot Framework Emulator, and I'll show you that in just a moment. Let's assume that I've already run the Yeoman install, and now I'm just going to go ahead and say Yo Bot Builder, and I get to give my bot a name and decide what it's going to do. Pick my programming language between JavaScript and TypeScript, and pick one of the templates. Then a bunch of Node Package Manager packages get loaded, and there's my bot. So to run it, just type npm start. And now I've got my bot running locally here on my computer. So I'm going to bring up the Bot Framework Emulator. Now, there's the URL of the bot that I just started. Now let me just explain that what this is doing is it's emulating the bot framework. So we're not actually going to the cloud. It's sort of a local emulator for the Azure framework. So I can just go ahead and connect to my bot. The bot got a conversation update, and you can actually see that on the right, and it responded hello and welcome. So now if I type something, I can send a message, hi there, and it will echo back the answer. The Bot Framework Emulator is a very useful tool to start debugging your bot locally. Notice that you can click on the messages to get all the details about both the network and the JSON that's being sent back and forth. So you definitely want to have this in your toolkit. Now let's try it in C#. Before you start, well, there's really two approaches. Without Visual Studio, you would want to have the .NET Core 2.1 or newer installed, type these .NET commands, and then generate with this .NET command. And I'm not going to read them to you. Same three templates. What I'm going to show you is how to use Visual Studio, and this requires Visual Studio and the extension for the Bot Builder v4 SDK, actually 4.6 or greater. And of course, you're still going to want that bot emulator. So let me show you this one. So I'm just going to come in here and create a new project, and I'm going to pick the Echo bot. Notice that the core bot and the empty bot are there. So I'll go ahead and click that. And this is actually the Bot Framework SDK is in .NET Standard, so it will work with a classic .NET Framework or with a .NET Core solution, which is great. And so now here's my solution that it's generated. And I'm not going to go through the code yet, but let's just go ahead and run it. And now I can bring up the Bot Framework Emulator again, same story, and it will work the same. Now what I'm going to do is start a tool called ngrok. Ngrok is a reverse tunneling tool that actually allows teams to call from the internet through your firewall and into the localhost port on your computer. This may sound a little scary, but it should be secure because all it's going to be able to talk to is your service running in the debugger, and hopefully that'll be secured before too long. So I'm just going to grab the external URL that ngrok set up. And now, leave that command running. Now I can actually talk to my bot using this public URL. So let's see if that works. Add the path, API messages, and by the way, ngrok assigns a random URL each time or a random host name each time. If you want the host name not to change, which often requires a certain amount of settings changes every time you start up, and it also the free version gives you only 8 hours at a time with a URL. So the paid plan, I find it worth it to get URLs that don't change all the time. Notice that ngrok is showing me the messages that I just exchanged with that bot. So it actually has a nice trace facility built in as well. Okay, so now I'm going to go into Azure and register the bot. Now bot services is here because I've used it recently, but let me just show you how to find it. Just go to all services and search for bot, and you'll find bot services. Bring that up and create a new bot, add a new bot. Now what it's going to do, I have a choice of a web app bot where the bot is hosted along with the bot registration. I just want to register the bot. I'm just going to create a bot channel registration. So let's go ahead and create that. I'll give it a unique name. I will give it a resource group where this registration will be stored. And I'm going to choose the free pricing, which will give me 10,000 messages a month. Mind you, this is not hosting the bot. It's just that translation service, that channel service. So this is giving me 10,000 free messages a month through the channel service. And I'll put in my ngrok URL here. So when messages come to this bot or through that bot channel, they're going to go back to localhost where I'm debugging my program. Now I will put API/messages on there because I'm expecting that, and I'll turn off application insights for now. And through the wonders of video, this will get created really, really quick. Okay, so here's our nothing bot. So the bot is still running, so let's test it in web chat. And what's going to happen is it's going to error out. Nothing happens. The reason I error it out is because we've just added a security layer and it's not actually configured on the bot side. So to handle this, I'm going to go down into my settings and manage the Microsoft app in Azure AD. I'm going to create a new client secret because the one that's there, I can't read its value anymore. You can only read the values right after you create them. So I'll make a new one, copy it onto my clipboard. No reason to hide it from the video because this has long been deleted. Um, and then I'm also going to grab that app ID and stash that away somewhere like OneNote or something, and um, somewhere secure if this is production. And I'm going to drop this into my app settings file. In Node.js, there's an env file that does the same thing. So what this is going to do, the bot code that was generated already knows how to validate the incoming requests. And it's going to actually use that app ID and password to cryptographically validate the requests coming in from the bot channel service. So they didn't match before, but now they should, and let's see if it works. Hello and welcome. Yep, looks like it's working. It got the channel update notification. And so now let's add the channel for Teams. Notice we already have the web chat that's turned on by default. Here are all the other options. I'll just turn on the Teams channel, save that, agree to the terms of service, and there we go. So now let's get into Teams. Now here's a little trick for testing your bot. So if you go into Teams and just talk to the app, paste in the app ID, the bot will actually come up and it should work. Now, people don't really want to type that app ID, but it's interesting that it worked. It reverse looked up the bot and everything is right there. So now let's make a little app to hold this. I'm going to go into App Studio, go to the manifest editor, and create a new app. Now I'm just going to give it a name and generate a new app ID. This is different from the bot ID. Put in a unique package name. I like to use my DNS name backwards with something on the end. Give it a version number, a description. Put in some developer information that's going to get kind of stitched into the UI. Include my partner MPN ID if I'm a partner. Put in my app URLs that again get stitched into the UI for privacy statements and stuff like that. Take the default icons, and boy, are we moving fast. I went into the bots and I created a new bot. So notice that I could have created my bot right here inside of App Studio. So that would have registered the bot, but the registration actually would show up somewhere else. You would have to go into dev.botframework.com/bots to manage that bot instead of going back to the Azure portal. That's so that people can set up bot registrations without even using Azure at all. In this case, since I did register in Azure, I'm going to go ahead and find my bot. It's an existing bot. And then I'm not really going to use all these fancy features, but what I will do is enable this for use in Teams channels, group conversations, as well as one-on-one chat. Save this, and now let's just deploy it. So I'll go ahead and deploy the bot, deploy the app. I'm going to put it into a team, and let's put it here, and we'll go ahead and set up the bot. So notice in Teams, you have to @mention a bot to get its attention. And so it's installed the bot into the team and @mentioned the bot. So now I'm just going to say hello and see if the echo happens. Oh, there's the hello and welcome conversation update, and bang, there's the echo. Notice it did echo the @mention. So that's something that we'll have to deal with cleaning up later. Thanks for watching this how-to video. If you like this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel at aka.ms/Bob1German, where I'll post on topics related to Microsoft Teams, SharePoint, and Azure development. You can also follow me on Twitter at Bob1German and on my blog at bob1german.com. That's all for this time, and thanks for watching.